everybody, and welcome to your core Pilates class today. So in this short sequence today, I am going to help you work on your core. So that will be the abdominals and the back and the side body, the obliques. Okay. As always, please take a modification wherever you need to. If anything doesn't feel quite right, please always remember to stop. And if you've got any neck or back injuries, this video is probably not going to be the best for you because I do add in some rollovers and some roll-ups, but there will always be a modification, so you can adapt and just miss out those specific exercises if you would like to. Great. Okay, so let's start on our backs. So coming down onto your backs when you're ready. The head settles onto the ground. Allow the knees to be bent, the feet to be close to the bottom. And first off, let's just be aware of our core. Okay, so we're drawing the belly towards the spine so that the lower back is supported. And you have a neutral arch, so a natural curve in the lower back. We're going to bring the arms down by the sides and just press those shoulder blades into the ground. Take a slow, steady breath in through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. We're going to incorporate some arm movements, keeping the core aligned as it is. So we inhale, sweep both arms overhead. Try to get the hands to gently touch the floor without the lower back lifting. And then exhale as you bring the arms slowly down by your sides. We'll do that a couple of times. So we're inhaling as we sweep the arms over. Try to keep the back supported, stable by activating the abdominals. And then gently bring the arms back down by your sides. Let's do this one more time. Inhaling as we sweep the arms over. Now, as we come back, we're going to bring those arms over the chest. So my hands stay over the shoulders, palms of the hands are facing one another, and pulling the shoulder blades down into the ground. Think about that tummy, really switch on here through the core, and we're going to gently lift both legs into tabletop. So I invite you into a dead bug position now. We're going to pause here. So the knees are over the hips and the feet are in line with the knees. And you're being aware the back's not pressing into the ground, but it's not a big arch either, somewhere in the middle of those two poses. From here, we're going to tap same arm, same leg down towards the floor. Gently come back to center and do the other side. Same arm, same leg, gently taps down, and then we come back to center. Now, it might feel like we're doing an arm and a leg exercise here, but we're not. I really want you to focus on the core. So you're drawing the belly in, scooping and hollowing, and making sure there's no movement through the lower back here. If you are finding there's movement, if you're feeling a pull on your back, my advice would be to put your feet down and to focus on doing the arms only first. And that will help you start to build that strength, that foundation. So I'm breathing out as you tap down, inhaling as you come back to center, because that out breath helps you get the best results here. So let's do this one more time each side. Try to move slow and steady, nice and controlled here. We've got one more time. And then we're going to leave the legs in tabletop and bring the arms down by your sides now, palms of the hands on the ground. We're going to tap down again. So I tap one foot to the floor. As the foot gets there, we're going to slide it along the ground, sweep it up towards the ceiling, straight leg, and then bend it back into tabletop. Other side. So I tap down first, I scoop along the floor, lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling, and then bend that knee to reset. So we're alternating, tapping the toes down, sweeping away, lengthening up, and realigning. If again this is too intense and your back starts to move and you start to feel a pull through the base of the spine, then stick with the toe taps only. So you could tap the floor and then come straight back up again. Okay, but as you start to lengthen that leg away from you, you'll feel the lower tummy engage more. So belly button down area all the way into that pelvic floor. So keeping the spine long, the head is staying down for now, and we are focusing on the strength of the lower abdominals. Tapping down, exhaling as you sweep away, coming all the way up. Reset. We're going to do one more time each leg here. So control tap, scoop and hollow as you sweep, lengthen up, and reset one more time, tapping down, extending away, sweeping up, and reset, pausing in that tabletop. Let's sweep those arms up again now, interlacing the hands and popping the hands behind the head. Take a moment to press those elbows wide, opening up through the chest. We're going to basic abdominal crunch, okay? So we exhale as we lift the head and shoulders up. Sorry, I'm just laying on my microphone. Just need to pull that out a little bit. Let's do that again. So we exhale as we lift up into our abdominal crunch, and then inhale as we lower down. So abdominal crunch, we're starting to work the upper abdominal, so around the rib cage area here. The knees are staying over the hips, and this is therefore working the lower tummy as well. Try not to pull on the head. The hands just give you some slight support, and keeping those elbows wide. Breathing out as you come up, inhaling as you control and lower. I'm going to add on here, okay? So as I crunch up, I'm going to take a scissor. So have a look. As I crunch up, I extend one leg up to the ceiling. The other leg goes out to hover. I bend the knees as the head goes back down on the floor. And then we alternate. One leg goes up, one leg goes out. And then we bend the knees as the head goes down onto the ground. So drawing the belly towards the spine, extending the legs up and away, controlling as we come back down. So now we are switching on our coordination, but we're working the lower abdominals right down into the pelvic floor as well as the upper. Let's do this twice more. Extending up, lengthen, control as you come down. One more time here. Exhale as we lift. And then let's get those obliques involved. So now you're in your tabletop, elbows are down. As you take your abdominal crunch, I invite you to straighten your legs and to roll onto your left side. You then bend the knees as you come back onto the heads. We go the other way. I straighten the legs, roll onto the right. Bend the knees, coming back onto the heads. So we're going to do this each side. Now this is great for those obliques. I said we were going to work into the side body as well. So you're taking that crunch, you're pushing the legs away for a bit of momentum and rolling onto the forearm for the relevant side. However, if that is too much, feel free to stay in your abdominal crunch on center, okay? So I'm twisting to one side, drawing the belly in. Controlling, coming back. Let's do this twice more. Extending, lifting up, pressing onto the forearm. Control. Try not to just flop back onto your backs. One more time. Exhale, lift. Inhaling as you come back. Bringing the head down, arms down by your sides. We're now going to extend those legs up towards the ceiling, team. So lengthen those legs, draw the belly in. Now this is the one I was mentioning about your neck. So if you do have any neck injuries, my advice would be to keep this movement smaller and to make sure your head stays level on the ground out of a vulnerable position, okay? If you feel happy with a rollover, we press the hands into the ground, draw the belly to the spine and sweep over so the feet come over towards the ground overhead. The coming down is just as important. I want you to think about the spine. You're rolling down through the back, vertebrae by vertebrae, trying to make sure you're controlling this coming down rather than just plopping back onto the floor. The legs extend and lower, possibly just to about a 45-degree angle. And then we draw the belly towards the spine, sweep those legs back up and over. A gorgeous massage through the back as you gently bring the feet to the floor. Thinking about that spinal articulation through the back. So the rollover, yes, is good for the abdominals, but I want to start massaging out through the spine as well. This is a core class, so I want to work on the back of the body just as much as the front. It is just as important. Remember, if this feels a bit too much for you, you could keep the spine long on the mat, do the little tailbone reverse crunches instead, and you could take a reset and hug those knees in towards the chest if you need to. Let's try this twice more if it's there for you today. Slow and controlled is my most important bit of advice here for you. Try not to just throw yourself over and try not to let yourself just plop back down onto the floor. We will have one or two that might happen like that, but try to keep the rest as controlled, as lengthened as you possibly can. This will be our last one here. So let's all come back down onto our bottoms. Reset, having the feet over the hips. And now make sure we do one leg at a time. We're going to lower the legs down towards the floor. And then as we do that, we sweep our arms overhead, taking a full body stretch here. Lengthen and make some space through the rib cage here, through all of these abdominals, stretching out and resetting through the body. I'm now going to roll up the other way. So I'm going to bring the arms, the chin to the chest, draw the belly to the spine as I come all the way up. Sweep forwards, extending, lengthening through the back of the legs. And then once again, that spinal articulation as you roll down. Draw the belly to the spine. Try and roll through the spine here. Every vertebrae touches the floor on the way down. And then you gently take the arms overhead. So I exhale, hands, chin, shoulder blades, draw the belly in, sweeping the body forwards, reaching as far forwards as you can. Try not to fully relax there. And then drawing the belly in as you go back. Tuck the tailbone under, rolling through the spine, slowly, 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 controlling your way back into your full body stretch. And again, if roll-ups are really intense for you, please feel free to modify. You could stay with a basic abdominal crunch. You could bend the knees here for this roll-up instead. It might make it feel a little bit more accessible for you. Or you could pause in a seated hamstring stretch at the top and wait for us to join you there. As always, your time on the mat, something is better than nothing. Let's take one more gorgeous, slow, steady roll up here, taking your time, coming into that hamstring forward stretch, and then fold over and enjoy a hamstring forward fold. Let the body curve here and release. Very important to stretch out these hamstrings in a core class. They pull a lot on your back if your hamstrings are feeling a bit tight. So you might think you've got issues with your back, but actually where the hamstrings are giving the back grief, that might be what's causing your niggles. So ensuring that these hamstrings are truly stretched out here as well. And then we'll peel ourselves up, bend those knees when you're ready. Let's make our way over onto our fronts. Like I say, I'd like to do a little bit for your back muscles here as well in this class today. So we're going to come here, elbows underneath shoulders. Eye line is looking diagonally forwards here. Draw the belly towards the spine and press away. Don't collapse into the upper body. We bring both heels in towards the bottom. You're switching on through the hamstrings and then straighten and lower those legs away. So we're going to bring the heels towards the bottom, draw the belly to the spine, and then extend those legs away. And if you're able to, you're going to take a little seal press. So as I straighten the legs away, I'm going to press up, lift the elbows off the floor, and press into the hands. So we're going to come down to the forearms as the knees bend, and then push away from the mat as we straighten those legs. Now, this is a great exercise for the back chain of the body because you're working the backs of the legs into the bottom, into the lower back, all the way up the spine and in between the shoulder blades. So be careful here. Take your time. Think about making space, not compressing the back. Really thinking about sliding the shoulders away from the ears. There's no tension in the neck, in the shoulders here. It is all the strength of the back chain of the body. We're going to do this twice more, pressing away, squeezing everything. One more time here. Press up and hold into that seal press. Pausing here. And then gently making your way onto your forearms. This time, I want you to lower down onto the belly. Slide the hands under the shoulders. Gently push yourself up, coming onto all fours. So bring those knees underneath your hips. Be careful here. Back might be feeling a little bit tight. Coming in cat and cow. So drop the belly down. Eye line looks forwards. We arch the back. And then reverse. Tuck the bone under, chin to the chest, and round the spine. Let's do this a few times. A lovely way to release any muscular tension through the back, especially after that little seal press we did. The muscles really work hard and therefore they shorten. So this is our opportunity here to release them, to lengthen them out, and to make space. One more curve. Let's lead with the bottom coming into our child's pose. Slide the hands forwards. Allow the forehead to come down to the ground. Take a big slow belly breath here in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. Make space through the back chain of the body. And then in your own time, we're now going to peel our body weight forwards once again, coming down onto the forearms. Now, at the moment, you're probably kind of here, your bottom's poking up towards the ceiling. I'm going to invite you to slide the knees back and then transfer the weight forward. So the shoulders come over the elbows and we're in our half forearm plank now. So spine is long, no creases in the back of the neck. Press away from those forearms and scoop and hollow the belly. We're going to tuck our toes under, nothing else changes. I'm going to lift one knee off the ground, gently place it back down, and then lift the other knee off the ground. So we're alternating. Here we go. As you're lifting off one knee and then the other, think about not twisting the hips. Keep both hips square to the floor. Keep the spine lovely and long. And make sure we don't collapse into those shoulders. Let's do this twice more, one on each leg. And then we're going to leave, once you've done this last one, both knees on the ground. We take a little twist. Drop one hip towards the floor. Rotate through center and then drop the other hip towards the ground. So a little twist here. I'm going one hip, coming through center, and then the other hip. Try to keep the shoulders and elbows in line. Trying not to go forwards or back. We're simply rotating, twisting through the hips here to get those obliques involved. Yeah, spoke about those obliques a lot. Side body, very important. We're going to twist twice more, one on each side. Taking your time, doing your best. And then after the last one, slowly pause in that half forearm plank. Bringing the hands underneath the elbows, we push up into our half high plank here. Uncurl the toes and then lead with the bottom, finding that child's pose. Beautiful. Forehead to the ground, creep those arms forwards. Slow, steady breath, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. Just visualize the space opening up in the back chain of the body here. And then gently in your own time, walk your hands towards your knees. We're going to bring those feet out from underneath us once again and make your way over onto your forearms now. Okay, so sitting on our bottoms, but we're going to bring our forearms onto the ground. So elbows coming underneath the shoulders, looking forward. So make sure you're pressing away from the forearms and you're not looking up towards the ceiling. Very important. Slide the ribs down towards the hips. You want to scoop and hollow the belly. And then from here, we peel our feet up and find that tabletop position. Okay, so draw the belly in, finding that tabletop. Single taps when you're ready. Exhale, 1 foot taps down. Inhale back to center. We change sides. 1 foot taps and comes back. So here we go. A different little series now. Forearms are down, press the chest through. Make sure your ribs don't flare up. You really want to draw the belly to the spine, scoop and hollow the ribs. We're tapping 1 foot down, then the other. Try not to have any movement through the back here. Very important, yeah? Let's do this twice more. Smooth, slow and controlled. And then can you join me and do both legs at the same time? So I tap both feet down and then come back to center. This should feel quite a lot harder to control through the tummy. If it's too much, please do one leg at a time. If you find your shoulders are taking over, if this is too intense, come down onto your back and do the same leg variation. But it's very important that you're drawing that belly in, and when these feet tap down, you scoop and hollow and don't let the belly bulge up. Yeah? Let's do this 3 more times. Exhaling as we tap. Inhaling back to center. Last 2. Slow and steady. You are very nearly there, I promise. 1 more time. And then we will gently pop both feet down onto the mat. Once the feet are securely down, make your way onto your back. Once your head comes down, just slide those heels in a little bit closer and take a moment to reset. Lovely job. Okay, picking up the right leg, cross it all the way over the left, so thighs come together. Take your bottom to the right hand side of the mat and then drop the legs all the way over to the left. Be careful here. Just make sure you're not holding those legs in place. If you can't get the feet to the floor, pop a pillow or a rolled up blanket or something underneath the legs. Keep pressing that right shoulder blade into the ground as well. Make sure we're getting this full twist here. And this is a gorgeous way to release through the back, the side body, and to open through the chest. Carefully pop that left foot down as you bring the legs back. Untangle those legs and realign those hips. Let's pop the left leg all the way over the right leg. Take the bottom to the left-hand side of the mat and drop those legs all the way to the right now. So you're going to drop those legs all the way over to the right. Remember, using a prop if you need to underneath the feet, letting the head settle into the ground here. Opening up. So yes, this is a core class today. I do want to stretch out through the core as well, because obviously all of that is just as important as getting these really strong abs and a strong back. We want to have the strength, but we want to have the stability as well. So that involves lots of stretching and releasing any tight muscles. Let's come back through center, realign yourself, pop the soles of the feet together and drop those knees open wide here. So soles of the feet are pressing together, knees drop open wide. I'm going to invite you to place your hands onto the tops of your thighs, okay, so right close to your bum. And then push your legs away from you. So not down to the floor, but you're trying to push your legs away from your top half of your body. Yeah, so you think of that lower back, be aware, visualizing the spine here, and you're trying to push the legs out of the spine, so trying to get the pelvis and the spine to come apart. They're obviously not going to come apart, but that's the visualization, because it helps you think about making space. Yeah, really giving the body space to function fully so that the joints aren't all just crashing down on top of each other. We're lengthening and spreading everything out here. Let's ease off, bring those knees back together and hug those knees in towards the chest. Press your lower back into the ground. As you're here, find some stillness through the lower body and gently turn the head side to side, making sure we're not carrying any tension through the top half of the spine as well. Very important to make sure the neck is free from any negativity here. Slowly allow that head to come back through to center. Whether you roll yourself up to seated or whether you use your hands, it doesn't matter at all. Coming into a cross-legged seated posture in your own time. Hands gently resting down onto those knees. Let's take a little rib shift here, side to side. Just finding some movement, some mobility through the back of the body. So rib shifting side to side and then forward and back with those ribs. Might feel a little silly, it might feel a little weird, but it feels fabulous, I promise, once you let go. Taking a big circle, side to side, forwards and back, going both ways around this rib circle here. Using those core muscles, but also giving the back a gorgeous bit of movement because it wants to move, I promise you, doesn't want to be still. And let's find a neutral lengthened spine. Lift up and out of those hips. Inhale as you make even more space. Sweep those arms up. And exhale through the mouth as you bring the arms down. Beautiful job. I really hope you enjoyed that session today. Let me know how you found it, and hopefully I will see you on the mat again soon.